Hey, welcome to our channel. You might ask, in this day and age of millions of YouTube channels out there, why to support us? Why to subscribe or spend your time with us and what it is that we offer? So what is this that why are we doing this? What is it that we offer that would call for people to spend an hour or two or a few minutes if they're looking at our clips with us?
Most of the channels, it's not just channels, just a general way of thinking about life, of relating to life, is through conceptualization. So we don't realize generally that we function as if understanding is the only possible way to connect with reality. So, is that true? The understanding is, we live in the realm of understanding. So that realm of understanding has a long history. It developed from, first, we developed language. So as society progressed, the language became more and more sophisticated. So what is language? Language consists of words, and words are representations of our experiences in the real world. So those representations of the experiences are not the experiences themselves, they are concepts. So what we accumulate in our mind is concepts. And what are concepts? Concepts are abstractions. So what exists in our mind is a map of reality, right? We created this map in order to survive. So we have to live in the world, we have to accomplish things. In the ancient time, we had to hunt animals, we had to find a shelter, we had to fight competing tribes. So all these things, so we had a world that surrounded us, which we had to relate to in a certain way. So it started, the relationship with the world started from conceptualization of our experience, right? Creating abstraction. So that's how we distinguished ourselves from animals. Because animals exist on mainly biological level. We created psychological. The psychological level is the level where we created time. We created past, present, and future, right? So those are, it doesn't mean that past, present, and future exist in the real world, but those are concepts which helped us to survive in the real world without really knowing real world. So the concepts which we have, it's not the knowledge of the real world. It's just representation. Just like a map represents the landscape, the land, but the map is not the land. So,
Or the menu is not the food.
but it's so helpful, yes, but it's so helpful though in functioning, So, anyway, just to conceptualize the reality, just to create, just language itself, which we created, was apparently not enough for us to develop society and to prosper in the world to extent which we can prosper. And so the development of our mental functions went into direction of creation of more and more complex concepts. So even words became much more multidimensional. Many words of our language now, they have so many, like 50 shades of gray, They have many, it's multicolored. Our language very colorful. It represents a very complex ideas, right? So, but how did we get the point that we actually started develop ideas, not just have simple words which just points at, at objects in the world. Or this is an apple tree, this is a stone, this is a river. No, we created much more complex sentences. We started expressing very complex ideas. And there was a great necessity to do it, because to function in the world productively, we needed to understand we needed to compare two different things, measuring them against each other and trying to figure out which value is great.
Everything was a value proposition.
So yeah, which animal should we hunt first? A wild boar or alligator? We needed to figure out. We needed to know.
Distinctions.
Right. We needed to create a scale of values, right? The scale of values. So, and the scale of values required all us to have, it's like a mountain of values, and every mountain has a peak, right? So the value starts from the ground up, lowest values in the valley, and then going up and up and up to the peak, and where we have the highest value. So the highest value is absolutely necessary to have the structure of value. Mm-hmm. And this is how we came up with the concept of God. Is the highest value.
But when did that happen? When is the first time?
It happened in ancient times, and we.
Was hunters and gatherers? That's when it initially took form, or any primitive concept of there is primitive drawings on the walls of the caves and stuff too.
Yeah? Yes. So yes, it started with very primitive sort of religion, worshiping stones, worshiping trees, but that idea of worship points to the reality of the highest value. I mean, we worship the highest value.
So even primitive man was looking to worship something higher than himself, because he saw here this strange thing, anomalous in nature. So that it play and had to have something.
It was absolutely necessary for life. It was absolutely necessary for life to create a scale of value, so we can orient ourselves in the world accordingly, productively. And but as society developed, the idea of the highest value, the peak of this mountain, was going further and further up. So we realized that actually the highest value does not even exist in the world of object. Mm-hmm. Because the object exists in our world as concept. So the inside world, that the highest value cannot belong to the realm of concept. So it is not of the nature of our mental process. It's not an idea. We cannot think of that. So this is how transcendence came to play. And suddenly people realize that it's not just worshiping. The worship goes way beyond worshiping a stone or a tree. We realize that the real worship is a worship of invisible. We went beyond our initial closed-mindedness, where we are completely relating our conceptual world with the real world outside of us. That's how primitive people live. So that was the first humongous step forward. Then when suddenly there was a realization, probably in one human, the first prophet, who realized that the highest value, that our world of concepts is limited by its own structure, and so basically we are limited. Our mind is limited. So there was that realization. So the limited mind cannot be the highest value. It is the unlimited.
So we knew we were outside of our beingness.
Yeah, so well, outside of, so there is this space, and probably one of the reason why it happened is probably hallucinogenic substances, which people, because that created a completely different relationship with reality than just simply ideas about it and language. So everything which can be expressed in language and experience because of language is completely different from what can be experienced when they're under influence of ayahuasca or other substances of the others. So now,
Which we've never tried.
yes, so
But that's why this was part of the ancient cultures.
yes, that's probably the mechanism by which people discovered direct relationship with reality.
Prevalent in
Normal relationship, yeah.
and in Persian culture.
Normal relationship with reality is conceptualization, understand.
This was the
So okay, as we go through history, what happened? What happened is that for centuries and centuries and centuries, we relate to the world outside of us through understanding. We understood more and more, and our language became more and more complicated. By the same token, our direct relationship with reality also, it grew out of our initial experiences of ayahuasca or whatever it was. It developed into certain rituals, into certain traditions, into certain religions.
getting in touch with our higher self.
Yeah, so because
Something other than we could explain.
yes, because people felt the limitation in just simply conceptual relationship. It was a limited access to reality. So as we develop as human, our direct relationship with reality through hallucinogenic substances, rituals, worship of different kinds, through prayers, through meditations, through created a very complex religious movements in the world, right? It's like, so religion was born, and religion got advanced, and religion brought a different way of relatedness to reality, which is faith. So before that, we had understanding, we had knowledge. Knowledge was knowledge how to survive with a simple language. Then faith developed, and faith at the highest level transcends knowledge. It transcends our limited connectedness to the